It's the weekend again, guys, and that means it's time to look over the pound yen Forex pair chart just to see what it actually did over the week, where we could have made some potential trades, and where we could see potential trades for the week moving ahead. So, if you're new to the channel, guys, my name is David, Millionaire Incorporated, and as I was saying, on weekends, I like to go through the Forex pair pound yen and just see what it did during the week and get a plan for the week ahead. As you know as well, I also like to go over topics on personal finance, wealth creation, and personal self-development, as well as crypto. So if you haven't already done so, guys, smash that subscribe button, join the channel, keep up to date with all my latest videos and reviews and things like that. I put out 2 videos a week, or usually 2 videos a week, one on the weekends where I review the pound yen, and another one during the week where I like to kind of touch on the topics I'd listed before. As well, guys, don't forget, smash that like button as well. Let me know that you enjoy this content which I'm actually producing, especially if you are a regular viewer, because that would actually mean a lot to me. If you did so, it means the channel gets ranked a little bit higher, more people get to view these videos, and it means a lot more people get to learn and, I guess, become more profitable or successful in their lives. So let's get stuck into it. So lately I've been leaving the arrows on the chart up from the previous week just to kind of see how my plan played out during the week to what I was suggesting. So as you can see, I was saying from where it closed last week, it was either going to come up higher, test these highs, and then kind of come lower, or come lower from this area and come back up and test these highs again. So you can pretty much see it actually did kind of come up, test this area here, which we had a area of a resistance set before moving lower. So I'll actually remove these arrows here. And you can also see that trade plan on the week here, which I actually took as well. So give me 2 seconds. I'll just delete this so I can clean it up a bit for you. All right, so this is actually a trade I took this week. So as we say, 80 pip take profit, 40 pip stop loss. I was just kind of fiddling around at the time as well, putting it to the base of that candle, seeing how it would have done. So it fared after a 1 hour candle. I'll jump into in a second. So yeah, so where did we close last week? So we opened where we are. So we opened just here on this green candle here. So you can see it already kind of tried respected this 153.68 or 70 area. I'll actually make it a little bit higher at that 153.70. So it's a nice, even, clean number. Now, it's never always going to be a perfectly round number. Sometimes it's a little bit higher, a little bit lower, and it makes it a bit easier to trade from rounder numbers. That's where I guess institutional traders place their trades as well. One thing I do, guys, which is probably a reason why you should watch the entire video to the end as well, is I kind of drop little knowledge bombs throughout the entire video. So definitely worthwhile for yourself to actually listen to the entire video. But yeah, so as you can see, it kind of respected this area at the end of last week and closed slightly below. Then opened this week and kind of came up and tried testing multiple times, couldn't break through. Then eventually kind of broke above for a bit of a fake out, then closed lower. So an area you could have also been keeping an eye on is this area just here, where it actually did respect it quite nicely. So I'll just kind of pop that there. So you can either trade from these kind of more daily or 4-hourly kind of areas, or the wicks on fake outs and things. But I like to try kind of trade from this area here, where you can see it has respected a few times in the past, like this area just here, this area here, through this area here, and obviously a couple of these smaller candles here as well. So it took about a day. I was kind of jumping around this area of being very slow for about a day before it finally kind of broke above it and then dropping lower. So you could have actually taken a trade from this area here. Let's drop down to the 1 hour and see what it's actually done. So probably would have taken it at the end, at the close of this kind of engulfing candle here, or this very bearish candle there, which is what I kind of did there. So you would have kind of placed that there. Let's add our numbers into that. So 80 pip take profit, 40 pip stop loss. And you would have seen after it closed, it almost just kept going down. Didn't even come back up to test it, and just completely collapsed. Now you can see as well that this would have kind of been a bit of an area you could have kind of kept an eye on to see if it actually retested to take another trade from, which my actual mentor actually did. So I think she entered this on the 1 hour or the half hour. So let's go back over here. So you can see here, I think she kind of put a bit of a area there. It's just here. And you can see it kind of broke below, came back up, tested, exhausted, then kind of completely dropped down again. So that would have potentially even been another trade you could have taken. So let's just pop that there. Potential trade. And same thing as input our numbers. But in saying that, if you've already got one trade running, you don't necessarily want to kind of double up. But you could also actually have brought this down to your entry. So it would have been a trade, risk-free trade. So you wouldn't have actually had to worry about that one. And then you could have actually taken this other trade. So put your stop loss on this first trade at break even or a couple of pips into profit, maybe 5-10 pips into profit. And then as this one kind of starts, you can actually enter that one, and same thing. You would have actually hit that take profit quite easily because, as you can see, the week just went down overall. So you could have either taken that for 80 pips on the second trade would have been about in line with these wicks of this one here, which is a pretty decent trade. Then from here, you can actually see, I'll get rid of these now. So that's two trades you would have taken, two 80 pip trades. Then you can see after it broke lower, it kind of came back up to test this area here. Now, I actually took a sell position from as it came back up and tested this area just here. So this little kind of zone here. But it actually kind of kept going higher. So let's actually see how that would have actually fared. So you probably would have wanted to take it at the close of this candle there. And let's enter our numbers. And bang, again, you can actually see if you entered it at the close of that 4-hour candle, it would have been all right. At the close of this candle, you probably would have done it as well, but having that 40 pip stop loss, you would have actually been stopped out because you can actually see from that, it actually did go higher. So I'll grab the ruler here. So you can see, close of this candle here, came up another 56, 60 pips. So you would have been stopped out. Then, depending on if you wanted to or not, as you're kind of still learning, if you are learning, you would have potentially entered under the close of this candle here. And then, as you can see, it just completely collapsed. Then it obviously found support. Now, this one is a little bit tricky to kind of see where it actually took support from. So I'll kind of scroll out so you can actually see a bit more easily. I'll grab a actual complete horizontal line here. So I'll put it at the base here. And if you kind of come back over this way, you can actually see where it actually found support. So whenever you're looking for a zone to trade from or areas of support and resistance, you always want to look left. Now, on this, that's what it's looking like on the 4-hour. You can see it's an area which has kind of been tested and respected many times in the past. So tested there to like after it broke out, tested there, through here, again there, through there. But let's jump up to the daily and I'll actually show you what it looks like on the daily time frame. So that horizontal line is you'd almost take it from this area here as a bit of a guide. Then you would have probably just kind of refined where that was from on a 4-hourly time frame. So on the daily, this area right here would have been perfect. So you can see there, it actually respected it perfectly. Or as we did just before, looked on the 4-hourly. And when we come back to the 4-hourly, let's come back over this side so you can see it a bit more clearly. Let's change it to a line chart. And you can see through that area where that red line is, it's an area which is kind of being tested. So it wouldn't be just a straightforward area, like a complete line. You would have probably been looking at this area kind of, 1 second, sorry. This entire area kind of through there somewhere. So it would have given you a bit more leeway to kind of take a trade from. So it might not have been like a 10 pip zone, might have been a 20 or 30 or 40 pip zone to actually look at. But you can see how it actually kind of respected it and then shot back up. So let's go back over here. So you can see pretty much to the T before heading higher. And same thing again with those round numbers. You probably would have put it at that 90 or 95. So let's go 95. And you can see almost to the T on that one, just below those, just above that. So it's a bit of a, not a completely round number, but it's thereabouts kind of thing. It's and it won't always be an exact number where the actual kind of pips come down to, or where the price comes down to before moving in a different direction. So you got to kind of give it a bit of leeway. That's why we always have like that reasonable size stop loss. So that's that zone there. So had you done that, you could have actually taken a relatively decent trade on just a 4-hour after that close. Let's drop down to the 30-minute, see what it actually did on the 30-minute. And it created a bit of a W pattern. So you could have either taken it as it broke this area just here, or even come back and tested it. So, and waiting for it to kind of come back and test, that gives you a bit more confidence, a bit more kind of confidence for that trade. So probably from around like from this candle here, after it kind of came back down, tested and respected. So same thing as always, guys. 80 pip stop loss, 40 pips take 40 pip stop loss, 80 pip take profit. Sorry about that. And that's wrong. That's better. And there you have it. That would have given you another trade. So almost three relatively easy trades. I actually missed this trade from the bottom. I was at work, and on the day that it moved, I was actually driving for 4 hours. So obviously safety first. You don't want to be trading while driving or doing something ridiculous like that. And when you can't look at a chart, it's not the best idea to just take a trade. So I always like to look at this kind of chart to make trades and plans from. Otherwise, it's just speculating, and I'm gambling my money, which I don't want to be doing. You obviously want to be making sure you use proper risk management and analysis before you take a trade. So let's delete those. Let's tidy this chart up a bit more again so we can see a bit more clearly. Let's delete that. Delete that. Delete this. Sorry, guys, just having a bit of a hiccup there. Let's delete this one here as well. Okay, do we need anything else here? So, no. So I think it's kind of confirming that downtrend on the daily now. So you're going to go the high, the low, lower high, lower low. So you can see it's actually breaking lower. But until it actually kind of breaks this area here, let's go to the weekly. It's still in an uptrend, and you can see how it kind of closed quite a bit of a kind of pin bar kind of reversal there. So we could actually see this week moving higher. So always you want to try and look at the zones or the trend on the high time frames. As I was saying, on the high time frames, it is actually still quite bullish. So you can see impulse, correction, impulse, correction. But in saying that, this is going to be a bit of an interesting week because this candle closed obviously still negative, but quite bullish because that last daily kind of candle was quite engulfing. So we kind of want to see how it actually plays out. Now, I never like, as you may have heard me say before, I don't like using just candlestick analysis because it sometimes isn't the most accurate. If you look down Let's go to that 4-hour time frame. Here, this candle, you could have been fooled into thinking that it was going to kind of continue up higher from there, where in actual fact it just collapsed and completely broke down to the downside. Whereas now we might see a bit more of a upward movement because obviously this daily candle closed with a tail there, respecting that zone there. So we could potentially, let's grab my arrows, see what we can do. Now, I never like to kind of predict price because trying to go just for exact prices, you're never going to get it right. And it does some interesting things during the week. You can have a week where it just goes flat. Other weeks it will move a couple hundred pips quite easily. And then one week it might just move 100 pips the other direction, 100 pips, 200 pips the complete opposite direction, and 300 pips the opposite direction again. So sorry if I'm talking a bit fast for you guys. I sometimes get a bit carried away. So here it might actually move up higher. Test this area here again, or come up higher and test one of these areas here. So before, kind of, I guess, completely coming lower, and it can probably come down to test this area here. But if it kind of respects this area here, it might come lower again until it comes down to that trend line. So it's kind of just playing, keeping an eye on what the chart's actually doing, what the price action is actually doing, and taking trades accordingly. Now, if you don't know if you're not confident in what's happening in the chart, just sit on the sidelines. It's better than actually risking your money because obviously if you're just taking blind trades, you're going to end up losing. And practicing that patience will actually pay off for you over the long term a lot more. So there's actually a lot of knowledge bombs I've dropped in this video. So that's what I'm looking at for the week ahead for you guys. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think for what the chart might do during the week. And I will catch you guys again on the video on next week's chart. Cheers.